Hello. So last month I was invited to the Chamber of Commerce to give a special presentation about marketing. And I chose the subject of audiences because that's where marketing actually starts. Now the recording was not perfect and slides were not shown the way they should on the recording. So for those who missed it, I wanted to record this video and basically redo that presentation. And now it's been a month since then, so I'm just doing it from on the fly, you can say. So the topic, this is part of a series called Marketing Made Right. And that part was how to speak to the right people. And I'm going to walk you through. Okay, so this is part of my business Growth Booster marketing agency. And I started with asking who spent money on marketing, and that failed by show of hands. And all the hands were on the air because everybody had some failure in marketing, everybody. And some people have a fear of marketing because of that. But the truth is that every single incident of failed marketing, I should probably restrict it and say maybe 99% of the failures can be traced down to failure of defining and understanding the audience. It's not necessarily the logo, the ad creative and stuff like that, rather than knowing exactly who the audience is and what exactly going on in their head. And this is hard to believe because most people think, I know my audience, I'm a dentist. My customers are, or my patients are people that need to take care of their teeth or have a problem. Or if it's a plumber, yeah, it's homeowners that have any problem with plumbing. And that's very superficial, and that's kind of like what I'm running into, because people think that they know the market, and by knowing the market, they actually just put a label and substitute that with actual knowing, and knowing what exactly going on in their mind. Exactly. And knowing that there are different audiences and you have to speak differently to each one of them. Okay, so that's in a nutshell what is the topic of this presentation. It's actually understanding and knowing the market really well. Now, just to get it out of the way, if you don't know me, who am I? I'm not a topic. A topic is marketing. And why marketing? And if you listen to that, you probably know that. But I'm going to quote Peter Drucker. He said that marketing, Peter Drucker is one of the main gurus of administration and management in the US. And he said, marketing and innovation produce results. All the rest are costs. Think about that. Let it sink for a second. The only thing that produces results are marketing and innovation. That said, most businesses I speak with think of marketing as a cost, as an expense. They get it the other way around. So just to put it out on the table, that's what's going to grow your business. Okay? Another quote from the same person, when he was asked, okay, what is marketing? He says, the aim of marketing is to make selling superfluous, to make selling unnecessary. That's what marketing is about. When you do marketing well, you don't need to sell. The person is already ready to buy. Okay, this is basically what you do. So if you do marketing well, selling is a byproduct. It's kind of like it will come naturally. Okay, and that begs the question: what is marketing? Where does marketing end where does marketing end and selling starts? Okay, what is the line? So I wanted to explain that. So selling is when you talk about your product, or your offer, okay, your service, whatever it is. And when I'm saying the offer or the service, I'm talking about the features of that or the benefits of that, but I'm also talking about the whole packaging. So it's the price, but also the terms of the term of payments. Okay, is it one payment? Is it separated to several payments? Do you have a trial or not? What is the guarantee? What is the warranty? What is the risk reversal? All of that is the offer. And when you speak about that, that's selling. Marketing is when you speak about the prospect, whether it is a buyer, a client, a patient, whatever you want to call it. But you speak about them, about their struggle, about their beliefs, about their aspiration, their frustration, the problems that they're facing, the things that they've tried in the past that didn't work. All that conversation is marketing. And usually when I write a sales copy for a video or anything else, you spend the first 75% with marketing. You spend the first 75% talking about the reader, about the listener, whatever it is, what's going on in there, the situation, and so on. And only the last 25% is about the offer, about the product or service or whatever it is. About basically that's the selling part. You have to establish first all the marketing part in order for the selling to be smooth. Now, again, selling is about you as a business owner. Marketing is about them, okay? But in order to be successful, you have to know everything about them so that you can do the marketing correctly. Okay, so now, here's another datum. People don't buy for the product. They buy for the result, for the change. Okay, and that's very important because I see a lot of people spending a lot of time speaking about the product, not too much talking about the destination, about the change or the transformation that's going to do. Okay, and that's what people are interested in. And more than that, before that, I'll give you an example. Again, I've done that a month ago, so I didn't remember the slides. An example, an air conditioning repair, you can speak about, hey, we're going to repair this and so on. But you have to understand the whole marketing should be around what the person is buying. They're buying relief from humidity, at least here in Florida, where I'm at. So this is basically your deliverable. You're giving them relief for humidity. You don't give them repair of their AC unit. Now, people buy solutions. They buy solutions, okay? They buy this change, the results, right? People buy solutions to problems that they want resolved. And I'm going to stop here and I'll explain. If I've spoken with some business owners that they created a certain offer where people are not really even aware that they have the problem. If they're not aware that they have a problem, they're not looking for that to be resolved at the moment. You have to basically increase their awareness until they at least realize that they have a problem, they want it resolved, and then they're looking for solutions. Okay, so that's a very crucial point. But again, people buy solutions to problems they want resolved to feel how they want to feel. So they want to feel in a certain way. That's basically what marketing is all about. It's creating that feeling. And even more than that, people buy based on emotion, and they buy emotions. And that's very confusing, right? So first of all, people buy based on emotion. You know that people buy emotionally and explain to themselves afterwards rationally or logically. They're trying to explain to themselves why that's a good purchase or a good decision or something like that. But they also buy emotions. And I'll give you some examples to make that more concrete. What does it mean, buying emotion? So when you have a home security system, and I didn't spend much about that, it just things that I didn't do a full research. But when people buy home security system, they're not just buying how many cameras and how many alarms and stuff like that. What they're buying is the feeling of safety. Okay, they're feeling safe. They want to feel safe. It's sometimes you speak with a homeowner, if you're selling that, and what they are actually, the position that they are is, hey, I'm the household manager, and my family is in my care, and I want to know that I've done everything that I can to protect them. So it's sort of like feeling of like you've done whatever you can. But again, you're selling the feeling, whatever it is. And I'm saying that because I've never done the full research about that. And I believe that you can have different populations, and some of them will feel that and some of them will feel that. But you're selling them a certain feeling. When somebody sells Botox, it's a plastic surgeon, he sells feeling more attractive. A Rolex, it's feeling more successful, or maybe a feeling of accomplishment, or feeling that I belong to that club, or whatever it is. But it's a feeling. It's not a watch. Okay, teeth whitening is feeling more confident. You're selling feeling more attractive, feeling more confident, so that people won't be embarrassed to smile. Productivity system, feel less overwhelmed, feel less stressed out, or whatever it is. Business coaching, feel peace of mind, feeling of peace of mind. So all those, everything that you do is basically selling a certain feeling. It can be by selling them a certain product or service, but they're buying a feeling. Okay, so now when you do marketing, there are three levers, three things that you need to produce, or to take care of, or that kind of like changes and make a difference. One is audience. The second is the offer. And like I explained, it's a combination of things. And the third one is the copy. Now, most people that come to me, I asked with the audience, like, hey, what do you think is the most important? Again, I can tell you that most business owners that come to me and ask me about marketing, they only care about the copy. They only care about the copy. 100%. I need a website. Build me a website. I need social media campaigns. I need. Can you do video campaigns for me? Whatever it is, they're looking on the copy. They're not looking to, get an audience research or an offer creation. Chat about that. Like they don't. But the audience is the most important part. Okay, from the audience, knowing the audience, you can craft a good offer. When you have a good audience research and you have a good offer, then you go and write a copy. Okay, copy is the action that paid. That is the most expensive one. Good copywriters earn a lot of money. I have a friend that was living in not too far from me in Sarasota. He was just a little bit older than me, good Jewish guy. He passed away recently. He was getting about $1 million for a campaign he was writing. It was at least $100,000 for a sales page he was writing, plus royalties. And he would make about $1 million for a campaign easily. Okay, so but what he did well is do a good audience research. He was phenomenal. He understood a lot of the marketing, psychology behind it. But it all goes and down to understanding the audience. If you have the wrong audience, you won't have good results. If you are selling martial arts classes and you go to senior homes with old grandmas of 70 years old that cannot barely walk with a cane or something like that, you can hire the best copywriter, you will fail. You won't have a sustainable business if you go over the wrong audience. Now, the tricky part is that the better the offer is, the weaker the copy can be. You can get away with a bad copy if you have a good offer. Okay, so again, the offer comes up from understanding the audience. And when you have a good offer, even if your copy is sloppy, you can get away with that. I'll give you an example. Let's say two people, they were like 2 days without water in the desert, and they're hot, they're melting, and so on. And your offer is this spring water for 50 cents. Again, if it was something they cannot afford, that's not a good offer, right? But hey, take this spring water for 50 cents. That's a good offer. So even if your copy is bad as the following, you can still get away. And that, imagine that your copy is so bad as this. Which one of you scumbags want water for 50 cents? So this is still get you sales, right? Assuming they can afford it. But if you have an offer that is a bad offer, you have to be very smart with the copy. The key to good marketing is really understanding the audience. Understanding the audience, and then you can do good marketing. Here is what Robert Collier, one of the great marketers from the last century, he said, you see, in his time, people that did marketing had to be very smart. You couldn't really test something for $100 on Facebook and see if it works. So if you have a problem, you cannot just go and change the website or the landing page. You have to know your stuff before you even start, because you had a lot of hurdles. You were doing campaigns on newspapers or direct mail or something like that, and people that had to buy something had to wait 6 weeks to get it, and they would send you money not by credit card on a push of a button on a computer. They had to either do a call and send you a check, mail you a check, a direct mail. It was a lot of hurdles. So those people needed to know their stuff really, really well. And he said something that is quoted a lot: you always enter the conversation already taking place in the customer's mind. Okay, so you have to know what they already have going on. If you're talking about something that they don't, that they don't think about at the moment, then they're not gonna pay attention to you. Okay, so you have to sometimes create it and increase it, but you have to enter the conversation already going on in their mind, and you build on it. Okay, and that's a very important part. But you have to know the audience. So knowing your audience allows you to resonate with them. Okay, to resonate with them. Okay, that makes sense. We heard that a lot. You have to resonate with your audience. But the word resonate comes from the audio meaning of resounding, when I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking about two tuning forks, and you move one of them, you ping one of them, and the other one start vibrating and pings as well. But for that, they need to be on the same frequency. So you have to be on the same frequency like your audience in order for that to work. Okay, so you have to know that frequency. Now, another thing that to take in account, and this is from another marketer that was his book from 1965. Got us a lot of good terms. That's Eugene Schwartz, and he said he covered 5 different awareness levels for your market, and your audience can be in different ones of them. Okay, it's not just one for all the audience. It goes from unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware. Unaware doesn't really know that they have a problem. You may speak with them about something, but they're not even aware that they have a problem. Maybe it's a problem that's gonna be visible for them afterwards, if they will not fix something. For example, you see people, I don't know, let's say they're hitting the golf game in a wrong way, or maybe they exercise in the wrong way, and they're gonna have some back pains if they're not gonna take care of that. Okay, it's like in the early 60s, 50s, and so on. People smoke and they didn't think that it can cause problems. Okay, so this is the unaware stage. Okay, they're not even looking for your service or product. Then you have the problem aware. They're aware of the problem. They don't really know that there are solutions for that. They may have this ringing in the ear, and it bothers them, but it's part of life. They don't know what to do about that. Maybe they have financial problems. Maybe they are afraid that they're gonna retire and they won't have enough money, but they think that this is their luck, or this is their situation, and it is a problem for them, but they don't know of any solutions. Then the next part is solution aware. Now they understand that there are different solutions. They just didn't choose one. Like, let's say the person with the back pains, so they know that they have creams and they have stretches and they have a chiropractor that he can go for, maybe physical therapist, maybe do an operation, maybe an inversion table that decompresses their spine, whatever. There are a lot of solutions, and they don't know exactly which one to go with. And then there is the product aware. So then they chose a specific solution, maybe even a sub product in that solution. Let's say it's a chiropractor. I want to go to your chiropractor. That's for me. I got a lot of people telling me about their successes with that. And maybe that's a specific one. Maybe that's a chiropractor that specializes in the atlas vertebra or whatever. But they are locked into a solution. Now, the next thing is they're looking for a provider that gives that solution. Okay? And then the next stage of awareness is most aware. So they're not only aware of the problem and the different solutions, and it shows a path and a specific product, but they also know you providing that solution. And the only thing that they need is the pricing and when does it start, or how long does it take, or just the technicalities. And now, why am I saying that? Because different awareness level, you have to have different marketing. You have to have different approach, different wording. If somebody is most aware, it's enough to give him the price and how long and stuff like that, and to get them. This is the Black Friday type of promotions. You get this OLED TV, so-and-so inches for that money, those are the people that are ready to buy. They just need to have the starter. But if somebody is, let's say, a problem aware, you have to go a little bit more indirect. So what I gave you an example is more direct. The farther you go down, you have to be more indirect in your approach. You have to sometimes tell a story about someone that had that problem, or maybe they didn't even aware they were doing this. They didn't even aware that this is the problem. Then they got in trouble, and then they were looking and researching, trying this and trying that and so on, and then they found something that really helped them. You see what I mean? Like those kind of promotions that you probably saw, it's very indirect. It can start not as an ad, but as a story, and that gets them up their awareness level from being unaware to, wow, that can be a problem. What can I do about that? Oh, there are those solutions. Okay, but that solution is superior. You see, you have to sell. Every time you have to sell the next step. You have to sell yourself, not directly, but you have to sell the problem. That you have to sell that they understand that they have a problem. They have to understand that there are different solutions, and that solution that you recommend is the superior solution. And from those solutions, this is the best product, and you're the best to deliver it. You have to sell them on each step. So then, give you kind of like examples. So let's say a real estate agent. So he has two avatars. One is a first-time home buyer that is a problem aware. So his trigger or fear is, I don't want to make an expensive mistake or get overwhelmed by the process. Okay, that's his problem. Your messaging on your landing page should be your first home without first-time mistake. The offer is step-to-step buyer roadmap. The first offer, just to get them in to your universe. Inspection checklist, a lender instructions, so something like that can ease off that fear. The channel can be Instagram Reels or Facebook groups and stuff like that. Ad opener can be buying your first home. Don't let hidden costs or rookie mistakes ruin the excitement. But if he has a different avatar, avatar B is downsizer or empty nesters, and they're solution aware, and their fear is the process of selling and moving feels overwhelming. I need it done smoothly without stress. They're already done that, they've already dealt with real estate, but now they have a lot of like stuff, and they need to move from a big house to a small house, and that seems to be overwhelming to them. And for them, it will be like, maybe the message will be sell simply and move in 30 days. We handle everything. And you're talking to them about ready for less house and more life. We'll handle the details so you can enjoy the next chapter. That's totally different message than before. So it's not all the same. Now, AI can help. In the past, going and doing any marketing activity, I would go to Reddit, I would go to Facebook groups, I would create sometimes like a different Facebook or something like that, a profile, so I will be accepted in some groups so I can see what people are speaking about. Okay, do a lot of research, doing surveys. That could take a lot of time. Now, with the help of AI, you can do things a lot faster. And I'll give you some examples. Okay, well, I was actually giving some. Let me show you. I was giving some basically examples with somebody in the audience raising their hands, and asked them, okay, what's your business? And I did it once, on the spot. I don't want to expose her details, so I will show you an example of that I've created in advance. So this is, let's say the business is a mobile veterinary clinic in the greater Tampa Bay, offers highly convenient, stress-free, and personalized solution for pet owners seeking full veterinary care without the hassle of travel. The service appeals to those who value comfort, convenience, and compassionate care at home. So this is what the business owner usually say. Well, my audience is pet owners, maybe dog owners or cat owners or whatever he wants to do. That they don't have time and so on. That's very superficial. So then the first thing I do is take and see what segments of the market would be open for that service. Now, listen up, because then you'll see how I take that material and I use it in websites and ads on different things. Okay, so I have different segments. One segment is the busy professionals and dual income households. Okay, there are 30 to 55, mid to high income, often balancing demanding jobs and family life, typically own 1 or 2 dogs or cats. The pain points: lack of time for clinic visits, dislike of scheduling delays, stress pets during travel. The mobile service aligns perfectly with their convenience-driven lifestyle and time constraint. Targeting opportunities, that's where I'm going to go with them, and the emotional trigger is relief, time saving, guilt-free pet care, being a responsible pet parent. Okay, that's roughly 35% of the market. 25% of the market is retirees and senior pet owners, which we have a lot in Florida. Profile: 60 plus, often live in retirement communities or condos. Many own companion pets. They have limited mobility, transportation options, anxiety about handling large pets, discomfort with clinic environment. and so on. This is ideal for those seeking comfort and assistance without leaving home. That's how we can target them. And the emotional trigger is peace of mind, companionship, security, and loyalty to their pet. And then we have people that have multi-pet households and families. Okay, they have several pets and they want to get it all done together. Families with multiple pets, often suburban homeowners with 2 to 4 animals. This is the pain points: logistical chaos of transporting several pets, cost of multiple visits, and organization, harmony, care of the entire fur family together. And then you have high-income pet enthusiasts, and we have a pet care ecosystem, partnership with B2B, like pet groomers and pet stores and stuff like that. You can come to them and they bring their clients and so on. That obviously different avatars will have different things that you should communicate to them. Then I take and I say, this is the market distribution. Let's get a consolidation of that. This is kind of like a summary of what I showed you. But then you can get like this group will be 55% of the market. We'll take the busy professionals and the multi-pet families. They're very similar in their in the targeting. So that's how I can target them. Okay, they have that the unified messaging will be professional veterinary care that comes to you because your time and your pet's comfort matters. And this is a second. The retiree will be totally different. Okay, so I can have those messages. Then I take the one of the avatars and I dissect it a little bit better. So this one is the busy professionals and dual income household that we saw before, and I take that and I say, okay, let's take a problem aware now, because they might not be looking for a mobile clinic. So let's say if I want to get them, then let's create an avatar. Let's create an avatar of Jessica Miller. She's a female, 42 years old. She's an HR director at Regional Care Healthcare Company. That's her salary, and so on. And then I see, I dissect the core problem. The core problem is she feels constant guilt and stress over not having time to take her pets to the vet, knowing delays can harm her health. The top 5 emotions are guilt, overwhelm, anxiety, helplessness. You see how that can help. The top 5 pain points: no time for vet appointments, pets panic during the car rides, and so on. The big complaint: every vet trip feels like a full-blown project. The waiting room chaos, the stress, the guilt, because she doesn't have time for that. The secret fear that her pet's health will decline due to her lack of time, and so on. Like she doesn't want to feel that she failed them. And I take that and I dissect it. They have secret desire to feel like responsible, loving pet parent who effortlessly keeps her pets healthy and happy, and so on. I get all the desires, all the fears, all the stuff that she has tried in the past and didn't do, the decision trigger. I'm getting everything, the market-specific insights, the key belief, the comfort in a problem. So I get everything dissected, okay? And what she wants to gain. She wants to gain time and competence and peace of mind. She wants to be a responsible, organized pet parent. She wants to prioritize health without stress. She wants to save time, and so on, okay? I get all the desires and fears and goals and frustrations and everything. And I use that afterwards in the messaging. So the messaging can be, the entry message can be, tired of the chaos of every time your pet needs to vet. The credibility approach is professional empathy and local expertise. That's what I will need to be in order to provide that. The language should be professional, warm, and conversational, and so on. I know that because that's the audience. Okay, and I go. This is just the first part. I go several. I go several steps afterwards, and I really get to know the audience. But when I know the audience, I can speak their language. I can know exactly what's going on in their mind. Okay, so this is just an example. I know that this can be looks a little bit complex, but we are doing that research and getting that with our custom bots that we have built. This is not just going to, and this is an important part I forgot to say. When you go to ChatGPT or whatever you're using, and I'm not using ChatGPT for that, but when you go to ChatGPT and ask them, okay, well, give me an avatar of this, you will not get a good result. My instructions for that, I'm building that on a custom bot that is trained on specific knowledge. And my prompt, my instructions are close to 100 pages, sometimes more, just explaining to them and building a team of specialists that can know my market. And I have different bots for different things. I have one bot to create the segmentation and another one to dive deep on the avatar. And they have to be trained correctly. So you can get something on an entry level, but if you want to do a good job, then you need something that is built custom. And even that, you sometimes need to go a lot of back and forth with it. If you know good enough your topic and marketing, because sometimes you have to realize that the goal of those AI models is to appease you and to satisfy you, and they want to make you happy. And if they don't know you specifically, they will do something that will make most people happy, and sometimes it's incorrect. And if you know your stuff, you can hold them accountable for that. You can say, hey, that's not right, do a better job, but you have to know your stuff. So anyway, that's with regards to audience. That's why it's important. If you need anything done, I can help you. Okay, bye.